Well, hey there, everybody. Hey, this is the first episode of my new greenhouse build. Now, I already have four smaller greenhouses, five if you want to count my mobile greenhouse I take to the local farmer's market. You might ask me, like my wife did, Chris, why do you need another greenhouse? Well, when the farmer's market starts every year in April, I only have enough room in my greenhouse for about 5 weeks worth of sales. In the spring, I am constantly up potting and just don't have the room to start more starts. Anyway, I wanted to build a large greenhouse that'll last me well into my retirement years. So, let's get started. Alright, so I started out by finding a spot that gets full sun. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. The shadow's all the way off my garden. And this is the area I'm going to put it. I decided I was going to do a 9 by 16 greenhouse here. Over on the side, have a little bit of slope. As you can see, it goes down from here. Good drainage, really good for drainage in the garden, but not so good for putting a greenhouse in. So I'm going to have to do some leveling here. Already moved my compost bin back a little bit, and I put up a little bit of a retaining wall over here. Alright, so I used 4x4s for the retaining wall, going all the way across, and that should hold it in. Put a few screws in, maybe put a board or a piece of metal post in there just to make sure it's all stable and won't ever flip over. Just in case you were curious what type of soil we have to work with up here in Western Washington, on the Kitsap Peninsula, pretty much a lot of Western Washington. If you're not in a river valley, you're dealing with glacial till. Glaciers came through a long time ago, and you get this really nasty stuff that's just basically crushed rock. Turns into a clay. A lot of rocks in there. I just wetted this down. That's what we're dealing with. That is glacial till. Makes great sand castles and designs, but this is some nasty stuff when it comes to gardening. So you really got to amend your soil a whole bunch. So yeah, just I use the words clay and glacial till interchangeably because it's a lot of clay in this stuff. So ick. Great mud pies. Alright, so for leveling this area out, I got a couple ways I can do it. First, I can grab my shovel and try to dig most of it out, and that's going to be a pain in the butt because this stuff is hard, especially some of this compacted stuff back here. Or I can use my pickaxe and break it up, then use my shovel. That's a little bit easier. Or I can grab my tiller and I can till it out a little bit. This will make it a lot easier for me to use the shovel on it, especially in some of the harder areas. So let me go ahead and pop the wheel thing up. There we go. Make sure my cord's out of the way. I love these better than the gasoline ones because I don't have to keep pulling every time you want to start and stop it. And whew, that's a lot of dust. Good, move that out of the way. Then I'll grab my shovel and start shoveling it over into the lower area, and then try to get it all leveled out. Then I'm going to tamper it down. Dust control. Don't want the dirt too wet, otherwise be too heavy. So as I'm moving the dirt and I'm tamping it in,
I did go down, and luckily I was wearing my safety shoes. So remember, wear your safety shoes, otherwise you can end up with a broken toe. All right, so I got to use a whole bunch of my old scrap lumber for my retaining walls that I put around. As you can see there, had some 4x6s, and then leveled it out as best I could. Doesn't have to be perfect. Tamped it down, but it is amazing how much dirt you have to move just to do just under 8 inches of level on there. So just a lot and a lot of dirt moving, and then tamping. Whew, I am exhausted. All right, well, I got the ground pretty level, tamped it down a couple times. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and tonight, a little bit tonight, a little bit tomorrow, and that'll help the ground settle. I'll rake it out again, tamp it down again, just make sure I got a nice firm base down here. And then I'm going to buy some 4x6s and put them around and start working on the floor. But that's going to be in my next video. So I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Push the subscribe button so you know when I put out my next video on my next part of the greenhouse. Thanks for watching, happy gardening, and have a great day.